Hey everyone, this is Michelle and you are watching the Experimental Show. Today I'm going to be working with Oliver on a color technique I've been wanting to try. And for me, I do it on drinking glasses. It's the easiest way to try to test the color pattern. So welcome to the Experimental Show. And today I'm going to be making a cup with some purple. Before we can get started, we need to set up the shop. And some of you don't see this behind the scenes, so I thought I'd have Becky follow Oliver around while he was preparing the studio for the day's blowing. This tool right here is called the pipe warmer. You can see he's put in 5 blowpipes, but now we need the punties and the extra things for the color application. So just even for the small clips that we're doing, there's plenty of pipes. You always want to make sure you have a hot pipe ready to go and that you're not held back because you don't have a hot pipe. The pipe warmer is a separate unit that gets lit on its own. These pipes will all just hang out in there while he goes and gets the other tools. So these are on a board. We label them so when students come for classes, they can look at the different styles. We need straight shears and diamond shears, which he's set on the bench there, and he's getting the tools ready. One thing Oliver didn't do was clean the glass, use the tools on the glass to clean them. So I'm going to show you how we do that on our next video because you're going to see later on why that's important. This is the door. It helps keep the heat in. You can see the back side there, bright orange, super hot. He sets that aside and then gets the rest of the tools for the bench out. Some of them can hang on the back of the bench, which is convenient, because if you need to grab a different tool, it's right behind you. And then there's also these little slits in the bench too that have other tools like the taglia and the calipers. You can see the wooden paddles sitting on the side there. Oliver's ready to go. One last check to make sure the size block I need is in there in the water. Those are new blocks we just got from Ivan. And here we are. We've preheated the color. This tool is called a garage. The left side is hotter, so I'm taking that hot bit of glass and moving it to the left side so that it's warm enough when we go to add it to the piece. It wants to flip-flop a little because you can see it wasn't centered on the pipe. It kind of looks like a golf club, how it wants to just tip over. It was put in there a little bit hot and it kind of fell over, so we'll straighten that out before we use it. Becky kept asking me to smile, so lots of smiles in this video. This is the cup. It's pretty basic. I'm more concerned with the color pattern. I draw it out so I can tell Oliver which bits he's going to need when. So the first is this. We go around the glass, and then the second bit, I'm going to go up and down the glass. Now, he's never brought this kind of a bit, so I have to describe it a little bit to him. We'll bring the bit down, turn the glass over, then bring it up, and then go back and forth. So the finished look is kind of this checkerboard pattern. Here's the first bit. It attaches to the pipe and we're going to wrap it around. Now what I was looking for is to test 2 colors, an opaque and a transparent next to each other. Right there, the transparent went on first and then the opaque is kind of second. Color did what I wanted, but there was too much color on the bit. So next time I'm going to do just 2 colors, not the 4 that were on this one bit. It was a little bit too much. But, I mean, that's why we're experimenting. So that was the first round around the piece. Next, we're going to go up and down. And if you're new to our show, this experimental show happens once a week. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to see all the different videos that we have. Each one is unique. They're not long. We do short clips so that we can keep people engaged, but we try all kinds of new things in our videos. So feel free to join our page, tell your friends. On Tuesday night, we do a live video that's 2 hours long, and that one's super fun. You'll really enjoy that one. So I I went back and forth. Oliver's heating again. We're gonna do one more bit on this. I have a couple more spaces I'd like to fill. So I just drag the glass down. This is the same color purples, but the glass is just hot, is why it looks different. You can see they pull off the pipe a little inconsistent because typically you don't layer two colors next to each other, which is what I did. Now it takes a minute. It's real bumpy here on the marver. What I need to do is get this whole thing screaming hot so that I can shape and form it into the cup that I want. And we're going to go back and forth to the glory hole here because that does just take a minute to get that done. Oliver's got some extra glass here. He's going to stretch it out and make what's called a stringer. A stringer is a small piece of glass we can use on other items. This time the glass is nice and hot. Again, it's going to take a couple times rolling it before it's ready to go to the next step. Each time I heat it, it turns that bright red orange, and rolling it on the table is how I shape it. Once the glass is shaped to my liking, I'll be able to blow and inflate it. I'm making a drinking glass. It's not a large drinking glass, just enough to see the color pattern. Rolling it on the table here gives it a nice skin. The opaque colors are stiffer than the transparent colors. So it's really important that I roll it quite often to give it a nice skin so that when it does blow, it's consistent. When you challenge yourself with layers of color, they all react differently. Some are soft, some are stiff. And so rolling it on this marver table is really a great way to shape it. Gravity to stretch it out, blowing, and using the jacks are all different ways to shape this glass. Oliver is on the other end. He's blowing through the pipe, which inflates the size of it so that I can pick what size I want. When I am done blowing, I just pull it out of his mouth, which allows me to control from the end that I'm working at. Oliver is just there waiting for my command to do exactly what I need the glass to do. So right now he's blowing again while I shape the sides. And as the glass is cooling off, you can see the two layers of color there. We are on TikTok and Facebook as well as Instagram. So if you like the video that you're seeing, know that you can join us on these other channels. That's where we do shorter clips, really quick, interesting ones so that you can see glass process. If you want to see the full step, you come to our YouTube channel and watch our videos there. Now Oliver's got a wooden paddle and he was just pushing on the bottom to make the piece flat on the bottom while I shape the sides. And you can see by the coloring, mostly the bottom is where the heat is concentrated at this time. Once the bottom's completed, you have to flip it around onto another pipe so that you can open up the top. Oliver has that pipe in his hand called a punty rod, and now we're going to transfer from my pipe to his pipe and flip the piece around. There'll be a hole at the top. It's about the size of a quarter, and then when I reheat, I'm just going to concentrate on the tip. Now, I mentioned earlier getting the tools together for the bench. I'm showing the color there. Is important because one of the things Oliver did not do was clean the shears. So I'm tweezing this out to trim it, but when I go to trim it, the shears actually stop because the wax on them heats up. And I can't, right there, I can't trim it anymore, which is a bummer. So I kind of just cut that part off. I asked Oliver to get me a new pair of shears, and when they have no wax in them, they're much easier to trim. So the whole piece got trimmed there. Using the puffer, I can puff out the top of this. Again, because the colors are soft and a stiff color, it's easier to use the puffer than to try to muscle it open with the jacks. Once it's puffed, I can use the jacks here. He's using the paddle, and then I'll open up the top of the piece. It does want to go 5 different directions, so I use the back of the jacks there to kind of push it back into shape. The different colors really play havoc. When you are consistent in your color pattern, it's much easier to open something, but the whole point of this cup was to have different color patterns on it, so it was very interesting to look at. There is the pattern. You can see the light and dark stripes on it. This is the small bit that will become the signature. The torch is used to heat up that small bit. A small bronze stamp is used to push on the glass, and now the piece is signed. You'll see a finished vision of the piece in just a few minutes. The piece has to go away to the cooling oven, and we use a little torch on the bottom to smooth out any rough edges, and then it will go into that. Hold the hot glass. It is still hot even though it's solid. It goes into this oven, will cool overnight, and tomorrow we'll be able to see what the piece looks like. There it is. There'll be 2 versions of this. You can see the color. I'll spin it in my hand and you'll see another version. And I want to thank you for watching the Glass Academy experimental show. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us for more interesting things. We look forward to seeing you at the next show. Have a great day.